All right, YouTube, we're back up and running. So today is my 100th video, I'm pretty sure. Not that that matters. I actually plan on making way more, maybe even 200, 300, who knows. I'm not done sharing my message. Plus, the first 100 videos were just for practice. And I feel like the more that I repeat the same thing with the intention of getting better, then that's the only result that will come of it is I will get better. So anyways, here you see my friend Jack. So Jack is my roommate. He's from Thailand and he's never really lifted weights before. So I've brought him to the gym once before. This is the second time. And I've been teaching him how to squat, seeing as how it's a very functional movement. I also taught him a little bit about RDLs. And so we'll see how he does today. He did pretty good, all things considered. One thing that I think is just generally true is that Asian people are like more predisposed to to be in these athletic positions just because in their culture they're actually a lot more active from a young age. A lot of Americans are hit or miss. You either do sports or you are like maybe I use nerd as the term, but like not like in an offensive way, but like you read books or you watch different shows or whatever. Anyways, in Thailand, they are a lot more active, and so he can hit this squat position like effortlessly, just because that's how he was raised, is being active. I think it's something super important that we realize that simple basic activity over time will be any gym exercise. The gym is meant to make us stronger, but it's not meant to be our only form of exercise. It's meant to just take us above the hump, I guess, like of what is naturally possible with our bodies. So, all that considered, I wanted to explain something. That this is the first video of this series, but I'm making a new playlist and it's called Making a Name. So, I did the squat every day for 30 days. I've shared a lot of my thoughts, and it's in the playlist called Deep Thoughts. And now that I've moved here, my one goal is to go big and to make this well known. All these things that I'm sharing, my ideas, everything that God has given to me, I want to share with other people. And so making a name is just that. I'm going to spend my time here in Utah, trying to make as many connections as possible, trying to get my name and my ideas out there, so that more people can hear what I have to say, which I believe is God inspired, and I really believe that the ideas that I have will change most people's lives for the better. So if you're watching this and you haven't already, go to the information on my channel. Even in the description, there's links to my profiles. Go follow my Instagram and my TikTok especially, and hopefully we can get this thing off the ground. So I'm using Jack as an example because I want everyone to see that what I'm doing is doable by anyone. It doesn't matter who you are. What I'm trying to teach people is something that anyone can accomplish. Anyways, no more talking about that. Let's talk about the workout. So if you were watching, you saw Jack kind of doing some warm-ups. He did some air squats. Then he did some practice RDLs without the bar. So basically, Jack is working with a low weight because he's new in the gym, and this is challenging for him. And I feel like whatever's challenging is perfect. Challenge is what we look for in the gym. But yeah, look how beautiful that squat is. I think he could go a little bit deeper and lean a little bit more forward. But I mean, that's just me personally. Maybe that's just because that's how I do it. But I feel like whatever feels most comfortable and natural to you, and whatever allows you to feel like you've done the full range of motion, that's what you got to go with. So yeah, and look, he's pointing at his upper back. One common mistake when you start out, especially because he hasn't ever felt a heavy weight on his back, is that he's putting the bar up too high. He's putting it up close to his neck when really it should be resting on the back of your shoulders. So I'm doing my best to explain that to him. I've found through coaching Jack that you need to feel things in order to contextualize, I guess, and understand. So I could explain to him, but he really has to feel it for himself. So when he moves the bar down, it immediately registers in his mind that that's better and it's a more natural and comfortable position. I think it's the same thing with every kind of movement, is that someone can explain it to you, but until you try it out yourself and figure out the kinks or I guess work out the kinks in the movement, Until you do that yourself, you're not really going to get anywhere. So, oh, look, there's my juicy. I'm just kidding. My booty. So I know no one's watching this. That's why I'm making all these dumb jokes. I really want to work on something as I make my next 100 videos, and that is just being myself. So I know that my voice is monotone. I know that sometimes it sounds like I'm droning on. But I promise I have a lot of energy inside me. It's just my voice doesn't always convey it. So I'm doing my best to kind of display more of my personality on here so that you guys can connect a little bit more and get a feel of where I'm at personally. So anyways, one thing I was going to say though is that Jack actually, his first ever squat attempt he actually squatted on his toes, and I had no idea, but that's actually how they do it in Asia. Not like as in terms of exercise, but whenever they need to squat down, they're really accustomed to doing it on their toes. So I had to teach him how to keep his heels down. It was super funny. But yeah, I don't know what made me think of that. But so yeah, he's warming up, and I put 5 pounds on the bar, 2.5 on each side. We worked up to, I think, a set or two with 10s. Or no, 5s on each side. I'm teaching him right here that to re-rack the weight, the easiest way is to hit the bar on the cage and slide it down into the holder, into the rack. So instead of having to look and kind of gently lift it down, just walk it forward until you hit both sides on the cage, and then slide it down to where it needs to go. All right, so yeah. I'm trying to think. What have I been learning recently? If anything, because if you guys can go back and watch a lot of my videos, and you'll see I've been sharing my ideas like nonstop for months. Let's watch the squat first. Like the hip and knee action is beautiful. I just think he's too upright. That's just me. The being upright doesn't allow for as much depth, because when you keep it upright, it puts more tension on your hips, and if your hips are not prepared for that, then you won't go as deep. But yeah, I think here's getting ready for RDLs. What I was saying, anyhow, is that every time I get a new idea, it's like it seems like a novelty thing, but then I wonder like how unique is this idea, or is this a basic general truth that can be generally applied to anyone's circumstances? The more that I'm meeting people, the more that I'm kind of connecting with people, the more I realize that the wisdom that God has given me is the same for everyone. I've been in a position like maybe at church or whatever. Like so far, my only social circles are church, because I haven't started working yet. But I've been able to make very insightful comments in class situations and personal conversations that make people stop and think, and allow them to open their eyes and broaden their perspective. And I really am so grateful to God that He's given me the gift, I guess, now to communicate and to share what I've learned. Really, it's something I've worked on. Like, I wasn't always the best. If you go back to my older videos, you'll see I wasn't the best at communicating. Anyways, that's just food for thought. If you missed it, I guess the last set Jack was doing, he was doing RDLs, and at first his knees were moving too far forward and backwards, and I told him that you want your knees to stay exactly over your ankles, basically, and you only want your hips to go back and forth as you lower the weight. One thing I told him as well is that you need to keep your shoulders back and your back flat. So you'll see, it's always, this is always the case, that when you haven't touched heavy weight, it's hard to see the form. But once you put heavy weight on the bar and lift heavy, it'll force the form to correct itself. You'll realize exactly where you're weak at. And that's the beautiful thing, is that the weight never lies. The weight is just, it's just weight, and it pulls you down, and your body has built-in mechanisms to support the weight. So that's my advice to anyone trying to, if you're working on form, in quotation marks, I guess, air quotes, if you're working on form, you can't really do it lifting light. The only way you can work on your form is lifting heavy, in my opinion. Lift up to 80% of your max, and watch the weight correct you instead of you trying to correct yourself. This is my top set. I haven't been in the gym super consistently. I'm getting an official gym membership on Friday, and that's when I'll be starting to go almost every day. But anyways, that's it for me. See you guys later.